Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're super happy to have you here. Today, we're going to be talking about fresh ag resources for back to school and introducing FFA at the Bell, a new video series. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. My name is Adam Bolingbrook. I'm the Director of Marketing for Stukent CTE. We have a fantastic lineup planned, but before we jump in, I'd like to run through just a few housekeeping items. First, your cameras and mics are turned off for this webinar, but we'd still love to interact with you. You can use the chat that's on the right-hand side of your screen. Go ahead and drop a message in the chat right now and let us know where you're joining from. All right, got a few coming in. I always love to see all the different states and places that people are joining from. We've got Indiana, Missouri, Kentucky, Connecticut. This is great. Thank you all for being here. Okay, following the presentation, we'll be hosting a live Q&A session. Feel free to submit your questions in the chat at any point throughout the event, and we'll address as many as we can near the end. You'll also see a couple of quick polls pop up today on your screen. So let's launch the first one now, if we can. There it is. So which ag pathway do you teach? And then if you teach multiple, or if the pathway that you teach is not listed, go ahead and let us know in the chat. We would be interested to find out. Okay, we've got a few coming in. While I'm waiting for those responses to come in, I want to let you know that today's entire webinar is being recorded. We'll email out the full recording to all attendees and registrants. So if you have to hop off early today at some point, don't worry, you're not going to miss anything. We'll be sending out that recording sometime tomorrow. Okay, let's look at the poll responses. So we've got a couple for plant science, horticulture, and floral, a couple for animal science, and a couple for ag mechanics. Let me also check the chat. Basic ag science, principles of ag and A&R, animal processing, lots of pathways. That's great. Thank you for your participation. We appreciate it. Okay, so for those of you who might be new to Stukent CTE, or if this is your first time hearing about us or attending one of our webinars, our goal is to bring innovative hands-on curriculum, industry-leading simternships, certifications, and certification prep to classrooms across the country. Our core mission is pretty simple: to help educators, help students, help the world, and we all believe in that here at Stukent CTE. We do this by providing engaging course materials across multiple CTE disciplines, including agriculture, which we're going to be talking about today, but also business, marketing, finance, hospitality and tourism, and culinary arts. We just dropped an overview flyer in the chat that you can download right now, and you can explore from there our full lineup of CTE course materials. If you'd like to get a free 30-day trial of any Stukent course materials, let us know in this next poll that you'll see here shortly. And one of our helpful course consultants will reach out to you after today's event and get you all set up with access to everything you might want in the platform. Perfect. We're also constantly expanding our updating our materials each year to support educators. If there's a specific resource or topic that you'd love to see us build, please let us know, and you can drop that in the chat. We've got several new agriculture education products that are in the works, which is really exciting. Okay, now without further ado, I'd like to invite today's presenters, Francis Johnson and Victoria Hamilton, to join me on stage. We will also have two very special guests from Quitman ISD in Texas who will be joining us later on, and we're super, super excited to have them. Okay, so Francis is an engineer turned communication and systems specialist with a love for engaging and encouraging people. Francis loves dancing to any music at any time, working on her pollinator garden, and spending time on the lake. Love that. Victoria is the Ag Education Portfolio Manager at Stu-Kent CTE with a background in FFA and Ag Education. She is passionate about helping Ag teachers inspire students to explore careers and opportunities in agriculture. All right, take it away, Fran and Victoria.
Hey team, can everybody hear me okay? I know we tested all of these things, but I
can hear you.
Great. So Adam, thanks for the quick intro. Great to be here with y'all. Again, my name's Frances. You can call me Fran, you can call me Franny. You'll hear me referred to by many. But I'm excited to walk y'all through Stu-Kent CTE Ag Education resources. And my teammate Victoria is here with me.
Hi, everyone. It's good to have you on this call. I wish I could see you all, but I know you guys are here. It's great seeing everyone in the chat, and we're excited to share Stu-Kent with you all.
Absolutely. And thankfully, two of my favorite teachers are here from Quitman, Texas, that are going to share a bit about their experience with the Stu-Kent CTE platform and resources. So I'm excited to intro them a little bit later. But Adam gave you some context about our resources. What we're going to do for the next bit is really just dig in and show y'all how this works in your classroom, what it looks like, how you guys can use it. So Victoria and I will be tag teaming a little bit. So we're going to try and keep this conversational. Like Adam said, we'll try and cover a lot of your questions here at the end of today. But if you have a question, we can try and pop that in as needed as well. So, all right, to get started, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's do it. And we'll kind of get rolling from here. Awesome. Okay, so as you can see, this is our current Ag Ed resources. So we have standards aligned curriculum over here. It's turnkey. It's customizable, so it's ready to go. Pre-sequence, pre-paced, but it's also customizable of like, I need this to be adaptable to what I need. We do that as well. So that's this first column. The second column is going to be our simulated internships, or affectionately known as SimTernships. They're going to be application-rich, work-based learning projects for your students. So they're great for contest prep, supporting your CDEs or simulated SAE work experience. So that's kind of what we see here in this second column. Certification prep, our certifications, these are an in-house, industry-backed certifications that we offer that are ways for your student to show mastery in these areas. So this is our current offering, which is growing. These courses are actually going to be new this fall. And so we're looking forward to adding more in the future. Okay, so this is our offering. I'm actually going to hop over to our teacher dashboard. So I'm just going to scroll up here and hit my classes tab. And these are my classes for the year. So I've created different classes. Hopefully this feels somewhat familiar-ish to you, especially if you use Google Classroom or other learning management systems. You're like, okay, I understand what's going on here. So it should be pretty user-friendly to get rolling. But the best way to get started on our platform is by clicking this little add class up here on the top right corner. So I'm going to go ahead and click that here. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with an intro to ag. So if you teach principles of AF&R or intro to AF&R, intro to ag, whatever you call it, we will start there with our class. Okay, so from there, once this pops up, you'll see this class is paced for a year. So it's semester 1, semester 2 here on this little left-hand side. But you'll see at the top that I can actually roster my students with my learning management system, a little pop-up there. We roster with Google Classroom, Canvas, Schoology, Clever, and ClassLink is to come. So if you're a ClassLink school, we hear you. We heard your feedback last year, and we are adding that as one of our rostering systems. So they all work pretty much the same, but I'll choose Canvas today for our time. And so I'm currently logged in with Canvas, and I'm going to choose my class and attach and continue. And so what this does is it allows my students in my intro class to sign in with Canvas. So they don't have to remember a password. They don't have to, try and figure out what their login is. They can just single sign in with Canvas or Clever or Schoology, whatever you're using. And then you can sync assignments back to that system that also syncs grades as well. So if that's your home base and that's where you want your students to go every day, great, we can help support you there. So that's just a little bit about rostering. But again, back to our class. We are paced for a year. Like I said, semester 1, semester 2. Within each semester, you'll see topics. Within each topic, you have lessons. You guys are teachers. This is not rocket science. You've seen this layout before. The way that we have our lessons laid out, I'll zoom out a little bit here for y'all, is we have a lesson plan at the top. So this is going to include all of our elements and maybe how you can sequence them. So something to kind of give you a point of reference. And then we have our content delivery here with our video, lesson text, PowerPoint slide deck. So same concepts, just different delivery, different teaching style, different learning styles, different if you're in the classroom or if you're traveling. That is there for you at the top. Then we have some open-ended activities here in the middle. We have some glossary and lesson quizzes at the bottom. So your formative and summative assessments, content delivery, lesson plan. It's generally how we structure our lessons. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a little bit what that content delivery looks like. So this is just kind of a little highlight reel of our lesson videos. So we have young people, we have motion graphics, we have recent examples in these videos. We are trying to keep your students' attention. And attention spans are short, so this is tricky. So we're, using all these effects to do that, but we also think it's really important for your students to see themselves represented in the screen. So we got young people. The PowerPoint slide decks, on the other hand, are downloadable, customizable. If you want to delete slides, change text, add slides, you can do that. You can also use our teacher discussion guide. So it comes with the PowerPoint for you to ask some questions to your students. And then your students can take guided notes as well. So this is our class discussion piece. And then one more lesson element I want to show you guys while I'm here is our bell ringers. So I have the pilot of FFA at the Bell, because that's part of this webinar. We're introducing FFA at the Bell. So these are going to be 3 to 5 minute episodes hosted by Jaden and Emma. And they're going to go over current topics and bring it back to the classroom. So really fun stuff like plant patents or where what rights do animal actors have? How does that work? But things that are just going to say, hey, we're going through a case study here. We're talking through ethics challenges. We're having some open-ended discussions through these bell ringers. But this is brand new, and Victoria helped make this happen. So I'm going to just pass it off to her to share a little bit more about FFA at the Bell.
Yeah, thanks, Fran. We're so excited to partner with National FFA. So all of the concepts in there were co-created with our content team as well as National FFA. And before we kind of talk a little bit more about it, we have a poll going to see who has heard about FFA at the Bell prior to this webinar. We've had a few marketing emails go out, and so as those numbers come in, just a little bit about the partnership with it. So as Fran had mentioned, they're 3 to 5 minute episodes. They cover topics about FFA, leadership, ag entrepreneurship, as well as career exploration and current events in agriculture. And every episode gives students kind of a fresh and fun way to connect what they're learning in the classroom to the real world around them. These episodes, they'll come out every other week starting in September, and they are completely free. So we'll have a pop-up come up and share this link in the chat so you guys can access it. And what you could do, you can bookmark the link to your computer now, or you can Google FFA at the Bell and find it in your search results. Or we also have these stored in our platform as well. So Fran, can you show them how they can access them in the platform and use them in there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I literally Googled FFA at the Bell. It's this first link right here. So again, you could bookmark it, but if you have a million bookmarks or you lose it or you are in a new Chrome profile, who knows, you can find that way. But like Victoria said, they're also in our platform. So I'm going to pop back to my class here. And if I scroll up to the top and go to explore bell ringers, you're going to see all of the CTSOs, the Career Technical Student Organizations, these clubs that we work with. And FFA is down here at the bottom. So this is where our new FFA at the Bells will live and thrive as they come out throughout the year. But you also will have access to all of our other bell ringers too. So if you actually wanted to use one of our bell ringers from before, you could, this Where's the Beef From is actually, hey, we import a ton of beef, but why is that when we have some of the most beef produced in the States? Just kind of an interesting plug there. You can click on this blue folder, and this is what it would be like in the FFA at the Bell tab. So you can click this, and I created this intro to add class, so I can click on that class, and then I can drag and drop this wherever I'd like. So if I'll do it before my lesson 1-1, save changes here, and then I can view it in my class. Ta-da, here it is. So as you can see, this is all red X'd by default. Not because we don't think you should cover it, but because we're giving you the opportunity as the teacher to say, I'd like to cover the bell ringer. Great. This is how your students will see this as an assignment. They will see this bell ringer, these discussion questions. Maybe you want to use this lesson video. Great. You're going to do the class discussion for class tomorrow. Awesome. Or maybe you have a sub and you're scheduling some stuff out to go live for your students when you're out of the classroom. You can also enable content for just specific students. So say you have a student on an IEP or a 504, you can say, hey, I made this specific assignment for you. I need you to do it. Or they're traveling with you at a contest and you're like, hey, they're doing this in class, but if you get this done, not a big deal. This is just what I need you to do today. So I can continue to enable content for my students here. Again, just turning it green is saying, this is what I want to cover, and this is what they will see on their side. Quick note on pacing on how that will work. If I actually cover over this 1-1 lesson, I'll see that if I cover all of the lesson elements, everything in this lesson, it's going to take me about 3.5 days based on 50 to 60-minute class period. That's a long time. We are not saying you need to cover all of this to cover the concepts in the lesson. We give you extra options because you're the teacher. You get to make the decision. And again, if you're like, hey, this is my 15-year teaching, I just want to use a couple of these things supplementally. Awesome. Do that. If this is your first year teaching and you're like, I need help, enable more. You can see that pacing here and see how that kind of rolls out. And then this percentage covered. So, I've covered about 1/3 of this. That's going to take me about 60 minutes to get this stuff done. So quick plug on pacing there. I will hop in to an auto-graded assignment really fast just to show you guys. So this is a lesson quiz. This is multiple choice for my students. Nothing wild here. This is my teacher information up there on the left-hand side, if you see it up here. And then I have my student view. So this is what students would see as they go through. And then I have some settings. So again, if you want to have this scheduled to go live on a certain date, you can. You can also create a due date. Say it's due tomorrow. Lovely. If you want to change your grading category, you can. You can also change total points, allow multiple attempts. If you're doing more of a formative assessment, you can say, hey, I want 5 attempts actually, and I want to reveal after the first attempt. You can do that. And then you can also set specific time limits for students if you need to. So that's, pretty easy settings there, nothing crazy. This is where you can sync to Canvas, Classroom, Schoology, etc. And this is going to send an embedded link into your Canvas or into your, learning management system that's going to allow you to click your students to click on this lesson quiz. It would bring them directly here to complete it. Once they finish it, because it's auto-graded, that grade's going to sync right back over. So nothing wild there, but that's kind of how some of our auto-graded resources work. I'm going to go ahead and save changes, and I'm going to show you a little bit of more of an open-ended activity. So if I exit out of this, let's go to this impacts of agriculture here. This is going to give you your objectives, your overview, some instructions, and then some questions for your students. So this is, again, your view. The students have their own view of what they would see for their instructions. And then Say you wanted to make this a group assignment. You could click groups here, make this a group assignment, and you can drag and drop students into different groups. You can assign leaders. You can also generate groups based on collaboration. So you're trying to get people that haven't worked together before, or if you want them to have a leadership boost for students that haven't had the opportunity to be a leader yet, great, there too. And you can save these groups all year and use them throughout the semester or throughout the week, depending on what you need. It's also worth noting if you want to do shared submissions, you have students, you're like, hey, they're all submitted together. That's great. Maybe you have some trouble students and you want them all to submit individually, because we all know some students that might need just a little bit of buy-in to submit for themselves. So that's kind of where you will see that there on some settings for our group activities. Because really here, we are a digital curriculum provider. We have online resources, but we're meant to be teacher-led. This is meant to be led by you as the instructor. It's also not meant to just be on their device the whole time. We're trying to get students to interact with each other. We're trying to get them to problem solve and apply their learning in this scenario. So that's just a little bit about our platform and our lesson. But I really want to talk about customizing a little bit on a lesson level as well. So this is one of Victoria's favorite features. I'll let her share about this one.
Yeah, it really is, especially for ag teachers. I know many of you have been teaching for maybe a year, maybe longer than a year, but over time, you've had to gather all of your curriculum from other ag teachers, other publishers. So I know that you guys have collected stuff over the years. So what's really nice is our platform allows you to bring in some of your own content. So anything that you've been using over the years that is some of your favorite activities that maybe you've designed or another ag teacher has shared with you, you can pull those elements into the platform, whether it's a link or it's a file or a video. Maybe there's a YouTube video that you love to share about animal science or something like that every single time you're teaching. You can include those things too. And it's really nice because the structure of how the platform is lets you be a little bit more organized that way. What am I forgetting, Fran?
No, I think you hit it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is just, again, allowing this to be your home base. If you want to, again, organize it that way. If you're like,
Yeah.
I keep losing this dang activity every year. I put it in this one file and then I have to make it again, or I have a weird screenshot of it on my phone. This is where you can kind of use that. And then you can save this customized template that you've made, share it with somebody else in your district. You can save it for next year for when you make your new class. So some resources there too. I'm going to show you just how to pull in another lesson from another course. So again, this add content button is powerful. You can add in your own custom content, but you can also add in curriculum from other courses that we have. So if I go ahead and go to Floral as an example, now I have my intro to ag here on the right side. Sorry, right, left is the other side. This is your Floral class. So you can see if I drop this down, I have the same layout. So video, text, PowerPoint, slide deck, quizzes, activities. I can drag and drop this over into my class if I'd like. Say you're like, students had a conversation, you're like, oh, I have that. I should just see if we have another lesson on that. I'll pull in something from Floral, or you could pull in a whole topic if you'd like. Or say you have a random Floral project that you'd like to do. You can pull that into, or you're helping your students. You're helping your other Floral class complete a project with your interest students if you trust them that much. Who knows? Those freshmen, man, you never know what you're going to get. So that's a little customization there. I have gotten this question from teachers before of like, hey, I found a really good, your poultry lesson. I really liked it and I wanted to pull it in my class. If you're ever just looking for a lesson on any topic like poultry, you can actually, again, go to our Explore tab, type poultry, if I can spell it right, and search. And then this is all of our lessons that we have that touch the topic of poultry. So you can say, great, I want to pull in this breeds of poultry into my intro class. Great. I can click the blue folder just like I did with my bell ringer, and I can actually add this in. So you can click this, pull it in, and then drag and drop it wherever you would like to see it. So just another way of customizing. I saw Lily say, drop any questions in the chat. Would love for you guys to ask any questions here. So just to kind of recap, let me go back to my class. We chatted through our curriculum. So video, text, PowerPoint, slide deck, open-ended activities, auto-graded quizzes, how to customize some of these resources for your students within the lesson element themselves, and then also how to customize it from a little bit more of a broad scale. I would love now to pull in our guests, Corey Hammond and Emily Burt, before I kind of pop into what our simulated internships look like, because they're going to join us on the stage because they used this last year. So Emily and Corey are from Quitman High School in Texas, and I had the lovely pleasure of meeting them in person. Hello, friends. So I'm so glad that they joined us this afternoon. I maybe begged that they would join, but they did join. Corey is, I said this earlier and I laughed at myself. He's been teaching ag for a long time, but he's not old, right? He teaches middle school students and high school students for an intro class, and then ag biz as well. And then this is going to be Emily's second year teaching horticulture, floral, greenhouse, the whole gambit there. So without further ado, please give them a warm welcome as they share how they used our resources and join us on the stage.
Well, good afternoon. As Francis said, my name is Corey Hammond. I have been teaching a while. I am not old. I try to stay young as long as I can. And we're just here today to kind of share with you guys kind of our experience from using Stukin CTE last year, being our first year, and continue. And we'll kind of talk through some of that stuff. We're a 4-teacher department here at Quitman in Texas. We offer 4 different pathways or programs of study: animal science, plant science, ag business, and ag mechanics. Our other 2 teaching partners are actually coming on board this year with us using Stukin as well, because our experience last year was very positive. And that's really kind of what we're doing here today. Francis did kind of beg, and I think I said no a bunch, but I'm here and Emily's here as well. So, so I just want to share my experience, and I've used other curriculum. I've used ICV. I've used textbooks, a lot of different resources in teaching, and I've taught principles. I currently teach principles of AF&R to 8th graders and high school students as a high school accredited course. I teach ag business and leadership, and I've used other curriculum for that, but I want to tell you guys that Stukin was a game changer for me. One of the things that I struggled with 8th grade kids is that attention span in class. So the way that the lessons are formatted, the way that the content is formatted, really was a game changer for me in class. There wasn't many days that we were going through lessons and stuff where my 8th graders were bored or not interested in what we were doing. One of the big things, big pushes for me is when it comes to technology, I do good to log into my computer every day. So a big selling point for me on using Stukin was how easy it was for me to access the content, make it my own, and change the things that I wanted to change, customize it in ways that I wanted to customize it. So that was big for me. So if you're one of those people that technology and you're kind of scared, like Google Classroom scares me, I'll be honest with you, I think Stukin may be a little easier than using Google Classroom in some cases. So very positive on that. I will say also the curriculum really, and I don't know, I know we have people from other states on here. It really aligns with our TEKS, our scopes and sequences that we have to teach here in Texas, which is another plus. So I don't have to really go in and tweak a whole lot of content to make sure that I'm covering all of my TEKS or the knowledge bases that I have to teach. So that's another positive. One of the things that I wanted to share with you guys, and this is something that I've learned over the years, is use it as a tool. you're the teacher. Stukett's not the teacher. Use it as a resource, use it as a tool to help you teach the content that you have to teach. And if you'll do that, you'll find that it's a really, really valuable resource to have in class. I was able to kind of tweak some stuff this year. I've already sat down with some of my other teaching partners and talked about things that I'm going to do different this year. So I'm excited about that. I alternated through the read and the watch the videos. Sometimes we'd read the content together. Sometimes I'd break them up into groups because of the ability to assign groups and say, hey guys, here, we're going to group read today, or we're going to read as a class. Having that flexibility every lesson and changing it up was really, really beneficial for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I used Stukent last year to help teach my greenhouse and horticulture classes. And I'll be honest that at the beginning, it was a little bit of it was a growing pain and a hurdle. Last year was my first year teaching, so I was a newbie, and there weren't, at the time, Stukent didn't have floral design. So one thing Stukent definitely helped me do was use Stukent for my greenhouse and horticulture class. So it was one less prep that I had to stress about, because I had to figure out floral design, and advanced floral and practicum and all those fun things. So it definitely helped me do that. And like Corey said, it's definitely use it as a tool and a resource. I used it every day religiously. We were watching a video or doing slides, and then we were doing the assignment. That is not necessarily the ideal route to go with it. So towards the end, I learned much more that the slide decks were extremely helpful. I really enjoyed using those, just so I didn't have to reinvent that part of the wheel of how I was getting the information to them and switching it out with the videos. They do really enjoy the videos, and seeing kids their own age is something they actually commented on, probably because they were used to ICV videos that are not enjoyable to watch. So I really enjoyed that. I'm really excited to see what floral design curriculum has to offer when that's released. I'm already on the trial, and there's lots of good stuff in there. So I'm looking forward to that being released, and I'll definitely keep using it. The activities are amazing. I really enjoyed using the activities and getting fresh ideas, how to switch things up and change things up was really nice. So super user friendly. Also would mention it is great. It was really helpful for me too to leave sub assignments that I could drop the slide deck or the video that they could go through themselves, or have something to reference to do an activity in the unit that we were already in that I could put on Google Classroom, and I wasn't stressed about printing enough papers and all that fun stuff while I was out of the classroom. So definitely a great resource. Loved it, and I can't wait to keep using it.
Yeah, and I'll kind of second what Emily said about, we as ag teachers, we travel a lot. We're at stock shows, contests, conventions, all the things. And I don't know that I've ever had a resource where I felt confident or even comfortable with leaving a sub. I mean, our subs sometimes, you never really know who we're going to have in class. But using Stukent, I was able to assign them through Google Classroom. I'm able to monitor while I'm away what activities, the progress the students are making throughout a lesson, and allows us to stay on track in class, because that's one of the things that just really, if I get behind on, teaching, I lose sleep at night. So being able to stay on track and assign those lessons through Google Classroom, which is what we use, and I know you can use other platforms as well, is just a game changer on that aspect of it. Little things within the platform. I'll share this. I teach ag business and leadership as well, and going through that, one of the things that they have in there, and it's not just ag business, it's some of the other curriculum they have it in there, but it's the ethics portion. It's called The Right Thing. And my kids, we would spend some days, a full class period, just having a debate over the right thing and what's the right thing to do. And I think that's in our industry in ag, and I know for us here at Equipment, we're here to teach agriculture and all the things, but we're also here to turn these kids out into the real world and make good, human beings out of them. And that really allowed me, and I eat that stuff up, and it really went hand in hand with that ag leadership and business class. So again, just a little thing that probably wasn't intended to be more than 5 or 10 minutes, I'm able to take that and make it a full class period because the kids really, really loved it. I didn't have to do any extra work. I mean, the work was already done for me. So, you know, and the resource is amazing. I know me and Emily both are here. If any of you guys have any questions or need any assistance from us, these two ladies that you see on your screen are amazing, and will help you in any way that they can. They have us. They managed to get me on this webinar. So I think that's
I
all we
think
got.
it was actually Emily that managed to get you on the webinar, but I'll take credit. Well, any questions for Corey and Emily or any, I mean, obviously I kind of left it in there. Guys, have any other final comments? Love to hear them too. And they're sticking around. So if you guys have questions at the end during Q&A, you can holler at them then too. But I really appreciate you, Corey and Emily, again, for joining, and you're like, the feedback that you have and the real life experience, it makes this whole kind of resource easier for me to be like, hey, I know that this is useful. So really appreciate you very much think through that and coming here and sharing. So
Excited, and good luck to everybody on starting. If you hadn't started already, good luck, and have an awesome year. So
yeah, thanks again for joining, because I know this is your last few days before school starts and students are back next week and things really get fun. So thanks again, you guys. All right, well, Corey and Emily are going to leave the stage, but again, they'll be around. So if you have any questions for them, please holler. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and we're going to pick back up to roll into some simulated internships so you guys can see what those look like. So we'll spend a few minutes there, and then we'll chat through certifications and cert prep, and then we'll kind of wrap it up from there. So, okay, recapping. This is our course. I'm in my, intro to ag course. I'm in my lesson 1-1. I enabled some content. It's ready to go. I'm going to customize this and add in my simulation. So if I click add content, I hover over simulations, and then this is where I can pull in the sim that I'd like to add. So I'm going to look at our ag finance one. This one was released just recently, and I have really enjoyed it so far. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop this mama on in. I'm going to add it to the top of my class just because it's easy to access, but you might want to pull this to the end of the semester, use it as a project, or again, maybe you're going to be out of the classroom for multiple days for state convention or for nationals, and you're like, hey, this is a good project for some of my students to do while I'm out of the classroom, kind of get them rolling in there. So I have my rounds here, and how this is set up is each round includes different tasks for them, for your students. And each round is going to take about a class period once you kind of get rolling. So enabling this content for my students, again, turning it green, that's how they're going to see it. And then I'm going to go ahead and hop in here and open it up. So while I pull this open, I'm going to let Victoria share a little bit more about what AgBiz is yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I really like this ag simternship that we have. What's really nice is I feel like it brings the element of finance and ag finance into a relatable scenario. So what this sim does, it kind of walks you through a scenario where there's a producer. He has some goals that he's trying to accomplish on his farm, and the simulation walks the students through a way of learning and understanding financial elements, and also kind of helps build their confidence a little bit in finance, especially because I know ag finance is not typically something students in high school all feel confident in, but this sim does a really good job explaining it where it's relatable, and it kind of explains the concepts in a way to help guide them to making the correct type of decisions as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Victoria, for the quick intro here. She is part of the team that helps create this content. So she is taking feedback from teachers and using her previous ag experience and current ag experience and bringing that to life in our simulations and in our courses and certifications as well. So thank you, Victoria. We value you. So this is just a quick intro about the company that I'm working for. Nothing wild. I'm going to go ahead and pop to my first round. So I'm going to click this round 1 here. and I'm going to hear about my scenario. So what I'm working on this week in my internship. So I am working at Sunbed Farms with Juan, who is my manager here. And I'm trying to make financial decisions to, like Victoria said, grow my farm's expansion, meet this man's goals to expand my current crop share. So I'm checking my inbox. I'm doing these specific tasks and kind of getting rolling. So this is just a brief intro, and then my inbox. So this is where your student will have an email, and they should read that email, which sometimes is such a surprise to students. And they might need to pay attention to what's even attached in this email. So this is our, info from Juan, our farm manager. And then again, I'm just kind of going down here on the side through each of these steps. So that's my inbox. And then I have some chat messages. So these might be from coworkers. They might be from customers. So we're just trying to make sure your student is tracking with what we're doing here. They're getting some feedback. These aren't graded, but we're trying to get them to make sure, hey, I'm ready to start these tasks that I've been assigned by my manager. From there, they really kind of dig into the tasks of this round. They're going to be comparing land and crop options. So they have some research here, and they're actually joining a video call and going to be chatting with their manager about what they might recommend based on this research. After they go through that, they're going to go ahead and choose based on the crop, the total cost of this land, expected income, net return, based on what they know about this company. And then they're going to discuss a financial summary. So they're going to, again, join a video call. It's simulated. They have some choice answers, but it's going to kind of simulate that, like, oh, there's some pressure here that I'm talking to my boss and have to make a decision in a certain amount of time and respond thoughtfully based on what I know. And then they're actually going to prepare this financial summary based on what they heard from their manager. So they're going to go through this with what the farm earned, what they spent, profit, and how to reinvest that. So again, these are financial topics. These are not easy topics, but we're trying to put that into the ag experience and give students like a comfortable learning for what that might look like for them to have a job in this one day, to get a little bit of experience as an intern. That's what internships are for. We're trying to find what we're good at, what we enjoy. So really fun here. They go ahead and review and submit after they've completed these tasks. And then they receive feedback based on our algorithm, and they can also see how other students do in this. So it's a little bit competitive there too. Victoria, anything I missed there on the overview of the sim?
No, that was really great. But one thing I did want to share a little bit more about the Sims is I feel like they are a pretty good opportunity for you to share them with your students and see if they have any CDE or contest interests. Like this one is about ag finance, but it could be used to kind of gauge if there's any students in your class that are interested in doing like a farm business management contest. Like for our ag sales one, it does kind of support a student that could be interested in competing in an ag sales contest. Same with ag marketing. I know there's not an ag marketing contest, but there is like a marketing plan contest at the national level. So that's something just to kind of see, they are designed to help students for career exploration, but they do kind of support those FFA contests as well, just as a supportive option for them.
And also applying what they learned in class. So if you're teaching ag biz and leadership, you're like, okay, you learned this, you maybe did some activities. Let's try and apply this in a different way and help you understand this concept even more before we take the certification exam. Maybe this is almost like a pretest or a project that you do at the end of the year to really get your students engaged. And again, giving them something different, changing it up too. So these are a little more autonomous of project-based, but you still have a lot of resources for slides, for how it's graded too within the simulation. I know I ran through that quickly. So if you have any questions, you'll know where the chat is. There is like a chat, polls, and handouts. So you can click through there if you need to change your tab and ask any questions to us as we continue to roll through. I will plug this really quickly because I was looking at this specific sim before I was at a conference in Texas where I got to see Corey and Emily just recently. And I actually was in this teacher resource in the instructor guide and noticed that Juan's name was spelled wrong a few times. And sometimes that happens. We are people. We make mistakes and have typos. If you see a typo, or if you have a question on how to get your student logged in to the platform, if you're like, hey, I'm away and my sub's having a hard time, can you help me help them? Like, what's going on here? We would be happy to help you. You'll have if you license with us, you'll have our contact phone numbers and emails. But if you're like, I need an answer like now, I don't have very much time because you're an ag teacher, you don't have a lot of extra time, reach out to our support team in this chat. So I got to just text Victoria and be like, this is a typo. Can you fix this?
Check it. It should be updated now.
It is.
Work fast.
But if you see a typo, or if you have suggestions or feedback, or like, hey, I'm having trouble here, what's your suggestion? Reach out to our team. This is Evan, and this is actually another Evan, and this is Ryan. We have a whole team that works in this chat, and we're especially active this time of year as teachers are kind of coming back to school, have a lot of questions, getting ready for class. Let our team know. We generally reply in a minute or so. We're really proud of that because we support teachers. That's our goal. We're trying to give you updated resources, again, as a tool, like Corey said, to help you teach, but we're also here to support you if you need help. That is our goal here in this chat. So holler at our team. Again, we generally reply real quick and really want to get this resource better for you. So holler at us there. That's a quick plug on support. So we covered Sims, covered courses, we covered support. I will cover something else on support. If you are like, hey, I just don't want to talk to anybody and I want to do this by myself, that's fine too. We have some self-serve resources. I click on this little question mark by my name. You can click this self-serve button. We've got all sorts of resources here for you to scroll or search. We also have like a YouTube playlist now that you can watch some videos too on how to figure some things out for yourself if that's more of your alley when it comes to support. I'm going to go ahead and transition to certifications quickly and just what those look like. The benefit of them being in our platform is that you get to proctor them as a teacher. So again, add content. We've been going here a lot. We added our own content. We added more courseware. We added a simulation. You can add your certification prep here. So if you're covering this plant science cert, great, love it. You have a study guide and you have 2 practice exams. Our plant science course obviously aligns to this. So that's going to be a resource as well, but you can drag and drop this. Again, I'm pulling it to the top just for ease of access into your course, giving your students, trying to, again, make it simple for them. One place to go when they need to review their certification prep or those practice exams. And the practice exams are going to be in the same environment as the actual certification. So that's helpful. 40 questions, 60 minutes generally, unless you have an IEP. So real easy there. Passings is 70%, and they get a certificate afterwards. So again, I'm going to certifications, clicking plant science here, and dragging and dropping for them to take that cert. When you take it, you can proctor it. You just enable it for your students. They say, hey, I'm ready to go. You say, hey, I'm watching you. Great, accept. They get started and their timer begins. So nothing real wild there other than it's here for you to use. And they are industry backed, like I mentioned. It's worth plugging here too that we do align to third-party certifications. So if you use the Elanco Fundamentals of Animal Science or the BASF Plant Science certifications, our courses, our animal science and our plant science courses align to those. So you can use those as prep if that certification is required in your district or by your state or by your program of study, or that's just what you're used to and you did whatever you got. You can use those still and use our resources to prep. So that is certifications and certification prep. Any questions there before we kind of wrap up and pass it back to Adam in my messy class here? All right, Adam, thank you. We will let you take it away. Finish us up.
All righty. Thanks, Fran and Victoria, for that amazing presentation. Fantastic walkthrough. I also wanted to say thank you to Emily and Corey. That was amazing. Thank you all for telling us about your experience using Stucent CTE, and we're excited to hear how it goes this school year. Okay, there's going to be a handout in the chat. It's a flyer on our agriculture education resources. You can click on that and download it if you would like to see the details around our ag curriculum and our new video series called FFA at the Bell. So check that out. Before we jump into our Q&A, if you would like a free trial of Stucent's ag resources, or if you would like to request access to the FFA at the Bell video series, please let us know in that poll that's going to pop up in the chat. Give that a few moments. I also wanted to make a note. There will be one last poll. I promise this is the last one. But if you, after today, like what you see and you're ready to see a quote for these programs, let us know in this poll. And one of our course consultants can get one right over to you and we can help you out. Okay. Let me go back to the chat. We've had a little bit of a quieter crowd today, but that's totally okay. Y'all have been good students. But yeah, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Put them in the chat. Corey has a question.
Corey, I see your question. Great question. The way that we license really all of our resources is as a site. So you would need to add the simulations on to your license. But then if you're a multiple teacher department and you want multiple teachers to access that, all the teachers on your license would have access to that sim. Yep. Good question. I have a question. That's something that I missed. And maybe not missed, but want to touch on because, again, saving y'all time. If I customize this class, great, for my first period or my second period for my intro, but I have to make another class for my next period because I'm, again, rostering my students with my class. Do I have to customize that all over again? The answer is no, you do not. And I will show you real quick what that looks like. So I will share my screen again. Okay, so this is my intro to ag period 5, and I have, let's say, period 4 as well. So I made, all these edits to my lesson 1-1. I can click these 3 little dots here, and I can actually copy to class for my 3rd period. My intro, I have it called principles here. And I can click that and I'm saying, yes, I am sure. So that means everything that I scheduled, everything that I enabled or have a due date on or have multiple attempts set for is now going to be present in my other periods. You don't have to do that multiple times for all of your class periods. So that's a little quick question that I've gotten before. I'll open it back up.
We're all about saving on prep time. That's the thing for us at Stucent. Great.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? If not, that's okay. We can also end a few minutes early.
I have a question for the group. What courses would you like us to see us develop next? You can share in the chat. Help us with some ag teacher research.
I know you always welcome that.
I know, it's my favorite question to ask.
Oh, here we go.
Got
some coming.
ag
Yeah.
instruction, ag communications. Yeah. That's a good one.
Animal processing, yeah. I hear small animal some or advanced animal science. Yeah, we do have an ag mech class. It's just it is a semester long, so it kind of covers some of your principles of it. And then obviously frees you up to spend a lot of time in the lab. Okay, love to hear that.
Great.
Sounds
Um,
like some people you can reach out to be subject matter experts.
I think
Victoria.
so.
exactly. Food science.
Science. It's a good
Yeah,
one.
that would be good. I have a question for Victoria. Well, what is new coming? What do you have planned? Coming up?
For 2027, coming up next year. Is that what you-
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So from all of the market research that we've done to scrunch numbers in different areas, whether they're future new customers, returning customers, or just other ag teachers in different states, it seems like the most popular courses are natural resources and wildlife, vet science, and horticulture, and then food science, small animals, another one. But yeah, I always love feedback, especially on natural resources. I feel like that's one that I keep hearing that is one that is pretty common and one that people are asking for. I always like to confirm.
Yeah. I have a question for Corey. Corey, what is something that surprised you that your students liked about the platform that you were like, I don't know if this is going to land?
That's a good one.
Can you ask that one more time, please?
What's something that surprised you that you were like, I don't know if this is gonna land. I don't know if they're gonna like it, but they did.
Oh, goodness gracious. You know, that I don't know that I have anything that they didn't like. I mean, to be honest, one of the big being kids, at first, some of the quizzes, like I'll be honest with you, like the quizzes are pretty intense, like the lesson quizzes. And so at first the kids were like, oh my gosh, Mr. Hammond, this is, you mean I got, 39 questions on this quiz, and the answer is yes, you do. You have to take it. But at the end of it, once we kind of got into those first few lessons, at the start of last year, I think the kids saw that, hey, we're covering the content so much, and we're going, with the quick review questions and the discussion questions and all the things, that it became really easy for them to take those quizzes. So I guess at first I didn't know how the quizzes were going to go over, but by 2 or 3 lessons in, man, the kids, they really enjoyed them. I hope that answered your question.
That works for sure. I think I'm always just like, what surprises us, like what do our students rise to the occasion to? They're like, oh, I actually can do this, or yeah, stuff like that is fun to hear. I also think the lesson quizzes are not just like glossary, like they do have to apply, right, in some scenarios of what that looks like too. So I could see that kind of being intimidating. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Sorry for calling you out.
That's okay.
Made you hop back on the stage. Sorry about that.
Good. I'm getting off.
All right. Well, we've got just a couple minutes left. I did want to make a note that we will be at the National FFA Convention in October in Indianapolis. So if you want to come find our booth, I don't have our booth number offhand, but please come find us. We'll have some ag swag for you at the booth. If you come stop by, I have some pretty cool hats that we're designing.
It's going to be really cool, guys.
Specifically for ag teachers. So I think that, yeah, very likely that you'll meet one of us there, if not all 3 of us. But yeah, again, thank you all for your time. We really appreciate it. We also appreciate your dedication to agriculture, education, and all that you do for your students. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.